Hey ladies, what's up? It's Chelsea. So today we're going to be starting on part 1 of this 2-part makeup tutorial. And last week in the Glamorous Lips Galore Facebook group, I asked you all what sort of videos you wanted to see next. And the most common response I got was you guys wanted an eyeshadow look that you could take from a daytime look and then transition it into a nighttime look. So I also thought it was fun to make things a little more difficult for myself and a little more challenging, and I said I would only use 2 ShadowSense colors. This is because if you choose to start off with our ShadowSense starter collection, that comes with 2 colors and 1 Foops remover to help remove the color at the end of the day. So that's why I'm limiting myself to only 2 colors. Normally I do like 2 or 3 per eyeshadow look that I do, but we're gonna see how this works out, and I think I'm ready to do this. So yeah, let's go ahead and just jump right into part 1 of this video, which is going to be covering just the daytime portion of this look. And then it'll be followed up in part 2 with the turning it into a nighttime look. All right, so let's get started. For this first part of the look, I am only going to be using the Mocha Java ShadowSense. Here we have the Mocha Java. You see it's a very light matte brown color. It's really nice, and I actually just recently got this color and I've fallen in love with it. I've used it for so many different things. I've actually tried using it to contour instead of actually getting like a darker foundation and doing it that way. So what I'm gonna start doing is I am actually going to take my applicator here and just a small little, let's see if I can get this to focus for you guys. A small little pointed fluffy-ish brush, and I'm going to take the brush and get the color directly off the applicator. And when you do this, make sure your brushes are clean when you start off. I did clean my brushes last night in preparation for this video because I knew I wasn't going to feel like cleaning them in the morning. And so I just put a little bit of color on here, and then I dab it off just a little bit to make sure it's not going to be too dark when I put it on. And Jacqueline, please don't hate me, but this is the closest thing I had to me. You can use anything for this. You can use an index card, you can use a sheet of paper, you can use tape, but I'm using our Glamorous Lips Galore business card just because I have a stack of them right in front of me. So what I'm gonna do for this is I'm gonna take the business card and I'm going to align it right here along the side of my eye. It's gonna start touching my bottom lashes and go up to touch the very end of my eyebrow. This is a technique that you can use to get a really good wing effect if you want to be bold and use like a bright lined dark eyeliner, but we're just going to be doing the eyeshadow with this. So I'm going to line this up right at the corner of my eye and then put it up to the edge of my eyebrow like that. And what I'm going to do with my eyeshadow that I just got is I'm going to start on the outside corner of my eye and just fling it up a little bit so it goes maybe about halfway up on my eye here. So we're going to start down here. I'm holding this card really hard against my face, so when I pull it off, it's going to have like an indentation. You don't need to hold it this close or this tightly. So I'm just softly applying the eyeshadow and letting it go up along this line. And I'm going to take it down and kind of just brush the eyeshadow down softly until it hits like the halfway mark on my eye. This isn't too important where you stop because we're going to go through in just a second and add more color to our eye, but this is just an easy way for me to remember how to do this. So again, we're stopping about halfway up. Now I'm going to remove the card, and you see here we have an actual like a really good line going on. So you can see how that works really well if you're doing a winged eyeliner effect. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a little more color on my brush, dab it off on my hand a little bit. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to go on the bottom lash line. I'm gonna start at the outer corner. My voice is going away. Start on the outer corner and kind of like blend it halfway through. And then I'm going to extend it up and let it meet up with that harsh line that we have and soften it out a little bit. So here we are starting on the outside corner, brushing this color down across our lower lash, just kind of making it soft and fluffy. And I did not get nearly enough eyeshadow. I can barely see this going on. So I'm gonna get a little more color here. Dab it off to make sure it's not too harsh. And brush it underneath our eye. And I'm just kind of going to the halfway point. You can go all the way across if you want, but I'm feeling a little lazy. Then I'm going to drag this up and soften out this line a little bit. And then from here, what we're going to do is I still have a bit of a line and I want to blend this out. So I'm going to take the other end of this brush, which is just a little fluffy, cutesy sort of blendy brush. These are real technical terms, you guys. And I'm going to put the brush on the color and then just swirl around in little circles. I'm not going to like go in actual circles. I'm just going to tap down and swivel it around in a circle motion. So the brush actually isn't moving locations. It's just the outside bristles that are doing the blending for us. So I'm going to apply that here and then just kind of like fluff it out to soften this edge a little bit. And we're going to do this until the line that we have is soft and blended out. And then I'm just going to kind of sweep it along just to soften everything up. Okay, so from there, I am going to take a different brush. It's just a flat, fluffy brush. These I just got at the local CVS or drugstore that you have. I don't have any like real fancy expensive brushes because I'm cheap and I don't really see the need to getting them. I mean, yeah, they're great if you have them and you know how to use them, but I don't want to waste my money on them right now. Maybe in the future I'll get them to kind of like jazz up the tutorials, but you know what? For now, this works fine. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of color on this. You can get a little more than you did for the wing part because we are just going to dab this directly onto our eye and cover the entire eyelid with it. I am just literally tapping this on and I'm covering my entire eyelid. And I'm just going to blend it out a little bit where this wing hit so it transitions smoothly. So we have our Mocha Java completely covering our eyelid. Now I'm going to go back to the fluffier brush and just kind of brush this along a couple times over that crease to soften it up because I did have a little bit of a harsh line where the color stopped and my skin color started again. Okay, so I'm going to really quickly jump over and do the same thing on my other eye so I don't only have one eye done. Okay, so one thing to keep in mind when you're doing this, if you're a little apprehensive on how dark you want your colors to be, remember it's always easier to apply thinner layers and darken a color up than it is to make a color lighter. So it's a lot easier to apply more color than it is to remove some. So normally the next step is, going to be eyeliner, and normally I have been using our Onyx ShadowSense with a simple eyeliner brush, but since I said I was only going to use 2 ShadowSense colors, I'm going back to my old pencil liner, and I'm going to go ahead and use that to, on my upper lid, do a very thin liner line as close to my lash line as I can. I've already sharpened my pencil, so it's nice, clean, it has a good little point on it. See? Isn't it so cute? And these are the Italia brand eyeliner pencils. They're really hard to find now, but they used to be my absolute favorite because they go on really smoothly and it's really easy to apply a dark color. So I'm going to probably get really close to the camera and do a very thin line all the way across the top lash line. And I'm going to start in the center of my eye just because occasionally I make the line a little too thick, and I find it easier if the center is thick to go from the outside corners and match the thickness than it is to start on the outside corner and go all the way across. I don't know. However you do your normal eyeliner is fine. This is just how I've been applying it recently. I'm trying to keep it as uniformly thin, I guess, all the way across. We are going to go back through and smudge this a tiny little bit. We do want to have an actual defined line, so we don't want to smudge it a lot. Okay, my mouth is moving and my hand is moving at the same time. All right, so we have a very thin black line right there. And I'm just going to go through, take the same little small fluffy brush and just go back over it and fix any little imperfections that the liner has in it and soften it up just a tiny little bit. Now for the bottom liner, I'm going to start at the outside corner, and similar to what we did with the eyeshadow on the bottom is I'm going to go towards the center and stop at the halfway point. Again, making this really thin and as light as I possibly can. I'm going to try to stay as close to my waterline without actually putting the eyeliner on my waterline for this look. So we're starting at the outside corner and softly pulling this in towards the center. I'm actually stopping about a little over the 1/3 way mark, just because I know when I smudge it out, it's going to smudge a little further in. And so now I'm just brushing softly over it again to add a little bit of a smudge effect. Okay, now for the other side. Alrighty, so the next step is to add mascara. So I have my handy dandy little LashSense and Undersense combination stick, but I want my lashes to be kind of thin and not super thick right now, so I'm only going to be using the LashSense part of this. And this is actual black LashSense. I think we have black and brown as well. How do I always get cat hair on everything? I own a cat. This isn't just random. Okay, so we're going to do just a very thin layer of LashSense. And if you guys want to, you can curl your lashes beforehand. Those contraptions kind of scare me a little bit, so I usually don't curl my lashes. But if you're brave enough to use them and have that clampy thing that close to your eyes, more power to you, because that thing terrifies me. Okay, if you want, you can put LashSense on your bottom lashes as well, but since I only did a little bit of eyeliner and I stopped halfway through, I don't really feel the need to put a lot of mascara on my bottom lashes. We will be changing that up a bit in the second part of this tutorial, but for now, I'm satisfied with just putting a little bit of mascara on the top. So this is a very easy to do eyeshadow look. If you want, you can skip the whole wing effect and just do the upper lash, by lash I mean upper eyelid, but I kind of like winging it out, so that's why I went ahead and added that step as well, in case any of you were interested in trying it. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause and go out and kind of hang out a little bit throughout the day, let the makeup sit, and then I'm gonna come back and do the second part of this video where I add on the second ShadowSense color and turn this into a nighttime look. So for now, thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to get notifications when we post our next videos. You are more than welcome to, if you're not already part of our Facebook group, join the Glamorous Lips Galore Facebook group that we have. You can check out our website at glamourouslipsgalore.com. I'm going to go ahead and post the different colors and makeup that I used in the description below. And if you guys have any questions or comments, you can go ahead and add them to the comments below as well. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in part 2.